This is Stacy McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast, where CEOs, senior leaders, and C-suite executives share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number 1. In a few sentences, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Stacy, I am Charu Raheja. I am the co-founder of TriageLogic Group. We provide remote patient care. So anytime somebody's sick, they can call us. We evaluate their symptoms and make sure they don't need to go to the ER, or if they need to just stay home, stay home. We also do a device monitoring. So you're wearing a device. I know we all know Apple Watches, but there are other related devices that are a little more advanced, and we look at your data, and if it looks like there's something more serious, we call you back and check your symptoms and make sure you don't have to go see a doctor. On the personal side, I grew up in Brazil. I have a PhD in finance. I taught MBAs and executives for about 10 years. And about in 2009, I was visiting my family, and my father died of a heart attack because he did not check on the symptoms that he was having. He just thought it was nothing serious. So then I started to ask questions and thinking about how we could have a program where people can call a nurse. So it's not like you're calling a doctor for every little thing, but you check your symptoms and make sure it's nothing serious. And that's how I got started in healthcare.
What a purpose-driven, mission that you have and why you're doing what you do.
Yes,
That's
I feel like every day I'm fulfilled because I know I'm doing a mission that is changing people's lives.
absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And I'm very excited to hear what you have to say today. Question number 2 for you. What's the best thing about leading people through change?
I think innovation is exciting. It charges people and give people a purpose in life. Our team is very creative. We're always thinking about new solutions to improve healthcare and really how to make a system that is accessible to everyone. So, telehealth is an exciting time to be. We, of course, started our company about 10 years ago, and we're now, I think, in the right place at the right time. But that's what we want to do. We all feel very excited. I was a professor for many years, and my greatest joy was back then, and still today, is to see people flourish and see them being the best they can possibly be. And that's what we do right now.
Mhm. That's wonderful. So, as you think about that, what piece of advice would you give to other leaders about implementing change?
We can't implement change on our own. So it's really important to empower team members so that people can understand why the change is needed, and then how can they help the company be successful. Um, it's more work in the beginning because we have to work with one another and we have to understand each other's personality. In our company, we actually do a lot of work training managers and training actually everyone at all the different levels of our company so that they understand who they are and how to work best with one another. With that, we also spend a lot of time talking about our goals and our values, discussing where we want to be in 1 year, actually in 6 months, in a year, in 3 years from now. And that way we can all kind of work together to get where we want to be. And we make sure everybody's voice is heard, and we make sure we all put the work that it takes to get there.
That's incredible. So, I often hear from other leaders that keeping teams engaged remotely has been a challenge, right? Their managers are being stressed out. They're not seeing their teams enough. They don't have the benefit of that kind of walk by management and leadership. They don't have the chance to overhear conversations at the water cooler to be able to address. And I'm hearing that they're kind of driving their teams crazy with kind of these check-ins and the micromanagement because of the remote environment. I'm curious what's been going on in your company, how you've addressed that, and what are some of the tips you would like to share in relation to making that a successful relationship?
I've thought about that a lot because, first of all, we were lucky in that a lot of our company is remote. At least the nursing part is all remote. Now we have a core office part where everybody were working in the office, at least they used to, and so that definitely posed a challenge. But fortunately for me, back in 2019, I actually went to did a conference at Dell Computers,
Hmm.
and they talked to us about how I think it's something like 70% of the employees work remotely. And when I came back, I started already thinking about, well, how can we help people work remotely? And it's actually been great because I think from a company perspective, or from an individual perspective, people love being able to work remotely. I think if we hear, some of the articles in the Harvard Business Review, we hear other business reports. As an individual, from a personal standpoint, they're liking the fact that they don't have to commute. From a company perspective, you're right. There is that challenge about how do you keep your team together. Something that we implemented as soon as COVID started was we do a check in every morning. So it's a 15-minute group meeting that we put together. And, of course, we ask each other how they're doing. But in addition, we actually use those 15 minutes to do a learning opportunity. So we talk about, maybe how to organize yourself, or maybe we'll talk about communication styles, or what are your plan for the next 2 weeks, whatever it is, that a topic that we think we need to discuss. We discuss that. We make it short, just like your podcast. It's only 15 minutes, but we get people into that mood where they feel like they can get the work done, and they're excited and they're ready to go for the day. It's been extremely effective. And of course, we do Slack and quick instant messages throughout the day to keep everyone together as a team. So yes, there might have been some issues with loneliness, and some maybe people feeling like they don't know as much about what's happening. But I feel like all in all, we've actually done very well since COVID started with us working remotely. So much so that we probably will stay part time remotely when COVID is over.
That's amazing. I think again, as you think about the privilege that comes along with the remote work, I think there's a big nod that comes from the employer to the employee when we allow that privilege to take place, that they feel empowered, they feel supported, they feel trusted. And so
Mhm.
I think there's some really good takeaways from that as well. I appreciate the intentionality that you tackled that initiative.
Actually, I think you're right on the purpose side. I think making people feel like they're trusted is crucial for success of leadership, because when people feel trusted and empowered, that's what caused them to be successful. I've actually seen team members flourish during this time, more so than they did when they were working in office and being told what to do.
So true. So, what daily practice is most important to you as a leader?
There's I can tell it from a personal and from a work part. I'll start with work. I think it's listening to others. I learned so much by hearing how people are doing on their both personal life, as well as listening to their ideas about the company. It goes back to empowering people to feel like their ideas are important to them. And I think that's crucial to a success of a leader and a success of a company that is leading a team. On the personal side, I love to read and learn new ideas. This always brings me new ways to run our company and keep up with what's happening. Um, there's always new ways, and I feel like you can always improve and you can always be a better version of yourself. And you have to do that by reading and listening to others. I also meditate and I exercise regularly, which I think it's important because it helps keep my mind focused and give me more energy.
That whole body wellness, it sounds like, not just, one component. All right. In less than 1 minute, please answer magic question number 6. What other successful business leaders like yourself should be on the podcast? Who else should we be paying attention to?
Well, there's a bunch of people. I'll just focus on three. One is somebody named Dolly Penland, and she runs a consulting company which talks about how can teams work together. So it's a personality test, which is extremely fast to do. It's not like those long ones. And then also she does a lot of work with teams and how to motivate each other and all that. I think she's been great. The other person in a different side is Tom Bognano with creating healthier communities. So Tom runs this company, and they are a non-for-profit that go into different communities and look at what are some of the troubles they're having, the social determinants of health issues for that community, and find solutions that will help that community improve. Because there's no such a thing as a one size fits all. And the last person that I admire is Lynn Shapiro. I mean, among other people I know. Lynn Shapiro is a lawyer of Epstein, Becker, and Green, but she also started an organization called Women Business Leaders in Healthcare. And that organization has been phenomenal in helping me grow and learn more about healthcare. And she's got lots of insights that I'm sure you're going to love hearing about.
Well, I will certainly look forward to having them on this show if we can get them. Because if they're anything like you, I know they're going to be fantastic with lots of great ideas. So I just want to thank you so much for being on this show. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you and to hear some of your ideas. I'm curious, if people wanted to reach out and introduce themselves, how might they find you?
LinkedIn, of course. So just send me a message. And also you can email me at charu.raheja@triagelogic.com.
That's fantastic. And audience knows I'll put that link below so they'll be able to click on and find you really easily. But again, thank you so much for being on the show. And
thank you.
Of course, this is Stacy McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast. For more ideas and insights, please do go check us out at www.concilioteam.com. And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.
Bye.